Okay, this particular lesson today, and welcome everybody. I'm going to touch bases briefly, but it's going to be thorough enough for you to get a proper understanding of what you need to do from your end in order to learn how to disinfect and also learn infection control from the cosmetology side of things. Now, when you become a cosmetologist, when you become licensed, that does not mean you need to stop what you learn in school as the foundation when it concerns disinfecting and infection control. A lot of times, cosmetologists, I'm going to go ahead and say it, beauty professionals, anyone for that matter that's in the beauty arena, whether it's nail technicians, estheticians, a barber, cosmetology, or so forth and so on. You don't want to call yourself falling away from uh, uh, disinfecting and cleaning. And with so much going on in the world today, that is a high priority now. People are washing hands, and and I mean, all the disinfectants are practically gone out of the store every day. It's like you got to wake up before the proverbial rooster crows to get to the store to get in line so you can get in there and get stuff get the things you need off the shelf that will help disinfect and keep things clean. And many of you know what I'm talking about. Alcohol, not alcohol that people drink. Now I'm talking about alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and things that disinfect. Of course, you knew that what I was talking about. But anyway. So you want this particular lesson is going to be sharing with you proper techniques that you can and disinfectants that you can use that you will be learning about in cosmetology school to help prevent the spread of disease. Why is it important? Why is disinfecting important? Well, I gave you the answer already. It helps to prevent the spread of disease. Do not be a lazy student. Do not be a lazy cosmetologist. Clean up behind people just because they come in there looking the way they do, which is nice, but appearances can be deceiving. You don't want to be spreading germs to other individuals, and also putting yourself at risk of being exposed because of laziness. So get rid of the laziness. This is vitally important. As cosmetology students, you will be learning about OSHA, occupational safety, excuse me, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. You're going to be learning about that, and please believe you're going to be tested on the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. But this particular department was created as part of the U.S. Department of Labor and enforces safety and health standards to protect employees and the in the workplace, and not only protect employees, but as I mentioned earlier, the clients that you work on as well. It's a regulating agency. A material safety data sheet, the MSDS, you may see it posted. That must be posted in facilities like salons to give a notification of what poison, what is toxic, or what is non-toxic, because that is what you will have to do if you are a salon owner. You must have a material safety and data sheet for inspection. Whenever OSHA comes around and looking for these particular items, that will be one. But as a student, you need to know where it is. You also need to know where it's sold, just in case you want to get one for your upcoming salon area or place of business. But the federal law requires that manufacturers supply a material safety data sheet. That's also from the manufacturer side. For all of the products sold, for all the products sold, that is, that particular MSDS contains information compiled by the manufacturer about the product. The ingredients, what to do just in case it is ingested, and seek poison control, or and so forth and so on, just in case of accidents that may occur, even ingestion. And we don't want to get into why or how it gets into the stomach, but just keep it in mind that all of this information is on the back on this MSDS on how to handle situations that are that happens that are ingested as well. It's talking about, it includes information that names hazardous ingredients. A lot of times there's hazardous ingredients that can cause birth defects and so forth and so on, and many other different type of defects or side effects, that is, because of use. Safe handling, also the MSDS talks about the use procedures, precautions, and so forth and so on. We did touch bases on that. Be sure to read the product that you are getting ready to utilize on the client. And clients, many of you are not cosmetologists that are watching this broadcast, find out what you need to know about the products that you're using as well. The EPA, what's the EPA? Don't look it up, don't Google it. Can you tell me? What's the EPA? Environmental Protection Agency. That is another important aspect when it concerns infection control. All disinfectants must be registered per se. A lot of the weight is on disinfectants, that is, I should say. Also include, that is. The EPA helps to monitor those particular disinfectants. And disinfectants are chemicals that are used to destroy bacteria. And there are a lot of disinfectants on the market today, and that are used to destroy bacteria to clean your products. And not only bacteria, but fungus and viruses, but not the spores. The spores have a way of protecting itself against these particular harsh chemicals that are on surfaces. Hospital disinfectants are effective cleaning agents for blood and fluids. We did touch bases on emergency situations. I did share with you in the previous broadcast about a blood situation that had occurred because of a hostage situation, and the cosmetology student was very seriously injured. You can actually see through their scalp, their skull, the skull bone, literally, because the scalp was gaping because of the gash that was put on that person due to a hit, and with the back of a gun. So you may want to check that broadcast out. I got all kind of I have truths that I shared with you in that particular. It wasn't made up. That you want to check out if you want to know more about that particular blood situation. But in salons, you need to have solutions that will take care and clear blood and disinfect it 100%. And I'm going to share with you some information a little bit later about what type of products you can use, recommend or suggest to you regarding disinfectants that will clear and clean up blood. Non-porous surfaces. What is non-porous? Non-porous means that their water cannot penetrate. It cannot get through. So disinfectants will be used on non-porous surfaces. Surfaces, again, that does not absorb water. That is another term that you want to include as you're learning as a cosmetologist. Hospital disinfectants control the spread of disease, and that's what this particular broadcast is about. Disinfectants, protecting yourself, the environment, cleaning properly, and so forth and so on. Tuberculocidal disinfectants, that's another cosmetology term, or term that you will be tested on in cosmetology. It's proven to kill the bacteria that causes tuberculosis. Tuberculosis can be spread through droplets, and a lot of times people will cough, and those droplets will float in the air and be inhaled by the person that's standing near, and that person can become, the lungs can become contaminated with tuberculosis. That's why tuberculosis skin tests are taken ever so often when it concerns medical professionals and the like, to make sure they have not been exposed to tuberculosis. And whenever you apply for a job, some job require that you go through that two-step tuberculosis test. Some jobs require that you only do the first step, but tuberculosis is very serious, so you want to ensure that you are protecting yourself and your clients again when it concerns cleaning non-porous surfaces to make sure that it's free and clear of disease. You're going to be learning in cosmetology school about a mycobacterium fortuitum or fortuitum. That is a microscopic germ that normally exists in tap water in small numbers. So don't get yourself all worked up because you just heard that it can be located in tap water in your house. Okay, but it relates to the tuberculosis. This is what we discussed earlier. So here we go. Now, when it concerns we just talked about state regulatory agencies, the EPA, OSHA, the principles of infection. You got infection control. We discussed about the different type. These are vocabulary words that you need to learn. Bacteria, virus, fungus, and parasites. We did touch bases on parasites. Parasites. Parasites are parasites. It's lice that is found in the hair. I did touch bases on how to assess a person's hair to make sure that it's free and clear of any type of foreign, any type of abrasions, foreign objects, and even parasites that are crawling around, and little hair nits that lay eggs on the hair, and it just sticks to the hair and it's bumpy when you rub your finger across it. So that's a parasite, and you will find all type of parasites in people's hair that are not practicing good hygiene, and you can yourself become infected and having hair lice and all these different type of things that can attack the body, the hair that is in the scalp, and cause issues. So you want to be aware that you're also cleaning to prevent or get rid of parasites as well. All right, so the process of disinfection, as a summary, destroys most but not all harmful organisms on environmental surfaces. Let me say that over again. Disinfectants can destroy most but not all type of bacteria, virus, parasites, fungi on most surfaces. So you want to ensure that you have that knowledge, but yet still using safe practices when it concerns cleaning. Bacteria, this is a one-cell microorganism. Is any organism that you can see under the microscope, and sometimes it's submicroscopic size, where you need to focus that lens in to really see it with a powerful lens. Some bacteria are harmful and some are harmless. So do your research regarding that as you study. There are different types of bacteria. There's non-pathogenic. In other words, they are harmless organisms that may perform useful functions. Symbiosis. You got two. It's like birds that and this does happen. And watch the Animal Channel. You see an alligator with its mouth wide open. And I know there are many other examples that you can use, but I'm going to use this one. And yet you have a bird that's all in the alligator's mouth, on the alligator's tongue, walking around, picking stuff off of the alligator's teeth, the bacteria, cleaning the teeth. So the little bird dentist is cleaning the alligator's mouth. And when the alligator mouth is clean, the bird flies away, goes about its business, and the alligator closes its mouth. So that's symbiosis, organisms that's living together, but yet they're benefiting from one another. So there's types of bacteria, non-pathogenic, and you also have the pathogenic bacteria organisms that can cause harm to the body. So study non-pathogenic and pathogenic bacteria, which are bacteria that are harmful microorganisms that can cause disease or infection in humans when they invade or are introduced to the body. Now, many different ways that bacteria or viruses, organisms can enter the body through the eyes. You want to make sure your eyes are protected. Any type of the mouth as well. The nose is another, the ear. You do your research, you study to find out about the different entry points of foreign bacteria, foreign things that can enter the body. Cocci, some people say cocci. The definition is a round-shaped bacteria that appears singly, alone, or in groups. Staphylococci is another definition term, is a pus-forming bacteria that grow in clusters like grapes. Streptococci is a pus-forming bacteria arranged in curved lines resembling a string of beads. Diplococci, that means double, is a pus-forming bacteria arranged in curved lines resembling, a diplococci or spherical bacteria. I was just following up with streptococci. Diplococci are spherical, meaning round, bacteria that grow in pairs and cause diseases such as pneumonia. Bacilli are short, rod-shaped bacteria. They are the most common bacteria and produce disease such as tetanus, or lockjaw. So these different type of bacteria, you want to ensure that you are cleaning properly to rid as much, if not all of this bacteria, as much as you can. Spirilla, that's going to be the last one. We may be a part 2 to this particular broadcast. Spirilla is a spiral or corkscrew shaped bacteria subdivided into groups, and it can manifest itself as Treponema papillida, or papillida, which causes syphilis. So I've given you enough definition terms regarding bacteria. Do your research from your end. Study this particular video. Listen to it again over and over and over again if necessary to find out, to learn, that is, more of what you need to learn regarding protection from these particular types of bacteria. There is a lot that has been said in this particular broadcast, and hopefully it did not pressure your patience too much. But thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and click the notification button to be readily notified concerning future uploads. All right, well, that concludes this particular lesson about infection and control. Again, this was not an all-exhaustive broadcast. There will be more about it later on, but just keep watching and you will learn more of what you need to learn regarding how to become a successful cosmetology student in school that moved toward from cosmetology student to a successful beauty professional. I will see you next time. And again, thank you for watching. We did touch base in the previous broadcast about infection control and the different type of bacteria that can invade the body due to unsafe practices and not using the safety practices that will prevent disease, otherwise that will prevent disease. But in this particular broadcast, and welcome to today's broadcast. It is truly an honor to bring these broadcasts to you so you can learn how to become a success in the area of cosmetology. Today we're going to be talking about the cause of disease. We did kind of touch bases on the previous broadcast, and I am going to make sure that this particular broadcast is not as long as the previous one. So I want you to listen up and listen closely. The way that bacteria can enter the body, but let's get into the terms now, because you will be tested on this as a cosmetology student regarding the different type of causes of disease. The first cause, or the first term that is bacteria. This is a little touch base, piggybacking off of the previous broadcast. Well, what is bacteria? Can you tell me what bacteria is? Well, a bacteria is a one-cell microorganism having both plant and animal characteristics. Okay? Bacteria is a one-cell microorganism that has both animal, both animal and plant characteristics. Some are harmful and some are harmless. So that is a definition term for you regarding bacteria. Causes of disease, the next term is direct transmission. And it's not talking about the transmission in your car either. This is a different transmission when it concerns causes of disease. Direct transmission is transmission of blood or any other type of body fluid through touching, through shaking of the hands, through kissing, through sneezing, coughing, talking. That is direct transmission. Someone, and the droplets, they just sneezed in your face. And while they're talking to you. So you just try to use as much coof as possible. So oh man, you just sneezed in my, you're not doing all of that. But it has happened to me. So that's how I know that sounds hilarious, but this is very serious. Disease can be spread through sneezes, coughing, touching because of unclean hands. And people don't wash their hands. They should be washing their hands. They don't wash their hands like how they're supposed to. And you know what I'm talking about. Because sometimes you don't wash your hands like how you're supposed to. So this is just a notification to let you know, not getting on you, I love you. But to bring to your attention how you need to be washing your hands when you go into that bathroom, so you're not coming back putting all your hands and whatever's on your hands in that client's hair that you're styling, okay? All right, I know it's real, but hey, I just want to give you an alert because it's vitally important to use proper and good hygiene, excellent hygiene to prevent what? The spread of disease. So that's a direct way that contamination can occur through direct transmission. Indirect transmission is transmission of blood or body fluids through contact with an immediate contaminated object, such as needles. That's one way that it can be transferred. HIV/AIDS, that can be transmitted through contaminated needles. Razors, you're not using needles in your arena as a cosmetology learner, but razors, you're using razors, and blood does get on razors because you're scraping the skin. You're doing it lightly. You're not slitting the person's scalp, because that's a crime. You could do a lot of time, but let's get back on track. You're just slightly scraping the edges of the person's skin, and you want to make sure the lines are fine if you're shaping the hair after the haircut and so forth and so on. Extractors, nippers, when you're trying to get the cuticle and you're using that cuticle cutter on the nail and you're going around the half moon shape, and then you nick that person's skin, and blood is introduced to the cuticle nipper. And if you're not a person of excellence regarding cosmetology, you're not going to utilize proper hygiene or disinfecting or cleaning techniques to make sure you don't prevent disease, but you should be a person of excellence, okay? to ensure that you're utilizing what you need to utilize to prevent indirect transmission. So be clean, people. I would emphasize that, even if it's a billion videos that I do, I will emphasize be clean. Be aware of utilizing and using excellent hygiene practices. Okay? Okay. Cause of disease, next term, infection. An infection is an invasion of body tissues by disease causing pathogens. That is the term of infection. The next term on the list here is germs. Germs are non-scientific synonym, is a non-scientific synonym for disease-producing organisms. So that is the definition for germs. Microorganism, any organism of microscopic to a submicroscopic size. That is a microorganism. Parasites is the next term. Organisms that grow, feed, and shelter on or in another organism, that is. They shelter on or in another organism, referred to as a host. A toxin or toxins is another cause of disease term, to where various poisonous substances produced by some microorganism called microorganisms, such as bacteria or viruses. Excuse me. A virus is a parasitic submicroscopic particle that infects and resides inside of the cell. So these are different terms that are related to cause of disease. So be sure that you do what you need to do from your end as a cosmetology student to learn what these terms are. So when the quiz or test is presented to you, you will make a very high grade on that test and pass it. And that will be another test, another day, another time closer when it concerns of you reaching your goal as a licensed cosmetologist. But I know you got to go through state board first, but this is going to help you prepare for your state board examinations, because state board takes it very seriously, just like any other area, but a lot of emphasis is placed on good hand hygiene, disinfecting. Do you know how to utilize and how to appropriate, cleaning measures and things of such. All right, that concludes this broadcast. Be sure to subscribe, click the notification button, because we have a lot more videos regarding helping you to become a student of excellence in cosmetology.